Let's do a quick look at objects, just the basic of objects. Now, on objects, we've been actually using them since the very first time you did user input with the scanner. The only difference is we've been using Java's library for the objects. So let's look at creating our own class files. For instance, whenever I have a driver file, and by driver I mean it has a main, it's executable. The basics are still here. The name of the class is the same name as the file. And in main, when I want to be able to go over and use another class's methods or their properties and their actions, then first off, I have to have a class file. Here we've called it course. Notice it's the same name as the file, just as usual. Then we have all of what is called the instance members about the course object that we will create. For instance, there's a name, each one has students, and there's a number of students in each class. These are the instance members for the course object. Notice also that they are private. Here's a new area that we're working with. Here, private means that the only way that a program can access the instance members content is through a method in that class. I can't directly go in from another program like my test course and say my course name is data structures. I have to go through what is called its constructor or a method that is public within the course object file. Okay, another rule about objects. Each object has at least one constructor. A constructor is a method that its sole purpose is to create and instantiate the object and set the contents of the instance members. Notice it's the same name as the file or your class. You can have multiple constructors, and constructors do not have a return data type because they cannot return anything. So just remember that on your constructors. Here, I have a constructor that catches the name whenever this object is created. Here I have a constructor that doesn't set any of the instance members. It just creates the object, which means I'll have to set the contents of the instance members inside of any of the methods. That's why normally we don't have it here for brevity's sake, but each instance member will normally have a get and the variable instance member. Its sole purpose is to return it, and each one will have a set. Its sole purpose is to set the contents of the instance members. Those are some of the basic rules that we follow and standards. One more about this here. When I call this constructor, notice it has the keyword this in front of my instance member. That's because the argument or the parameter that's being passed has the same name as my instance member. So it will know which variable to use, the instance member in the class or the local. If you put this as the keyword in front of it, it will know to use the current object or instance member. Okay, let's try and use this. So through here, when I want to be able to access all of the methods inside my course, I have to create an object name which links to it. So here I tell it what's the type. It's a course type. They match. I give it my object name and say it's a new course, and then pass the data to it. There must be a matching constructor that catches a string on the other end. I can do that for 2 of my courses. Now that means that out in memory, I have a course type. Its name is course 1, and its data is stored under Course 1. All of the methods in course are put inside memory, and I can access those methods through Course 1 or Course 2. Both use the same copy. It knows which data to use by putting Course 1 or Course 2 in front of it. So here I have a Course 1 dot add student. So it's going to use data structures. It's going to find my method add student, and it's going to add Peter Jones. So I need to go over here and find the add student. It catches Peter Jones. In my instant array students, it will add at the position on my number of students starting at 0 to Peter Jones. And then I'm going to increment for the next student. It'll come right back and then add Brian Smith to data structures. Now when I'm ready to add to database systems, I simply put Course 2 and the names. It's going to call the same method, just with different data. Anytime I want to call any method, then I have to put my object name for the data I'm going to be using, and then the method. So when I'm ready to get the contents of the name of the course, I can say course2.getName, and it will return the name. I cannot say system.out.println course2.name. I have to go through a method to get it. So those are just the basics. Let's work through an object in our next video.